I didn't see you there. Welcome to PodGis. My name, your host. My name is your host. Ah, shit, let's start again. My name is Alval, and this is my podcast, you guys. This is PodGis with a capital P, an O, a D, a G, an I, and S. Nobody pronounces it correctly. Every time I do a show and I tell the host, they're like, "What do you want me to say about you?" And I give them some credits and I say, "You know what? Tonight, let's promote the pod." I say, and I'll say it's PodGis, and I'll write it down. They'll go write it down for me, and I'll say it's PodGis, okay? And I'll remind them, hey, it's pronounced PodGis, 2 syllables. Really hit that G. It's a hard G. It's a hard G, I say. And then they go up and they're like, your next act is so good, so outstanding. Oh my God, she's God's gift to comedy. She also hosts her own podcast, PodGis. PodGis. Host of PodGis, here comes Alval. And I have to go out and do my whole set just thinking about how everyone in the audience thinks that I'm hosting a podcast about cum. A podcast about jism. It's, maybe every once in a while I'll mention jism or sperm. I don't know. I don't know what might come out of my mouth on any given podcast. However, it's not about cum all the time. It's about cum maybe less than 2% of the time. 2.5. I'll be generous. Less than 2.5% of PodGis is about cum. So we need to stop with the misnaming my podcast. It's not PodGis. It's not PodGis. Anyways, things I should have thought of when I cooked up the name. But I didn't think it would be that difficult. And here we are. Jizzing up a storm. Welcome to the Jizz Factory, everyone. That's what I'm calling the studio. Welcome to the Jizz Factory. Hope you're full of cum, because we got another hot episode coming at you. Oh boy, is this even going to be allowed on YouTube? It must. It's got to be. Talking about cum is fine, right? I'm sure it is. Hello everyone. How are we? How are you? This might get annoying, but it's what I'm gonna do for the next little while. This is the theme. This is the theme of PodGis. PodGis. I'm doing vocal training, vocal feminization training. I'm hitting it harder than I ever have before. I'm gonna conquer this bitch, okay? Like I said in the last episode, if I don't work on the thing that I'm insecure about, then I have no right to complain about it. So, this is me working on it so that I have the right to complain about it when it doesn't go well. Isn't that a fun loophole? So, think about it. If you're struggling with certain things in your life, then if you work on them, then you're allowed to complain about them. It's a benefit. It's a bonus. You might improve on the thing that you are struggling with, and if not, best case scenario, you get to gripe and complain about it because you're out there doing your best. And if your best isn't good enough, then, you have every right to complain. Then complain your fucking pants off. Complain until the cows come home. Yum, 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 yum. I drew big lips today. I don't know if you can notice. I don't know. I've got a little thumbnail right here on my computer screen that I can see. And the pixels are small. So looks fine from here. But I did a couple test runs. I looked at the video afterwards, and my hair looks dry. My lips look painted on. It's a catastrophe. I like me much better when I'm small. I like me much better as a thumbnail than as the real deal. And you, the viewer, I hope you disagree. That would be nice. But, we're our own worst critics. And here we are. And here I am. And here you are over there. Hi over there. There you are. There you are. Wow. 5 minutes of fucking nonsense coming at you. But that's what happens at the Jizz Factory. We just rub and rub until we bust. And that's a metaphor for ideas. Sometimes I just talk and talk and I rub one out of my brain. Sometimes I'm just jorking. I'm just jorking the folds in my cerebral cortex, in my frontal cortex. Sometimes I'm just jorking the folds of my cortex, and then every once in a while I'll bust. I'll bust a nut of an idea. Still, 6 minutes into this thing, I've yet to bust, but we're getting there. I don't know. I hope it's been. You know what? Fuck it. That shit's funny as hell. I don't care. I think that's funny. So I did bust, and I feel very satisfied. The rest of the podcast is the equivalent of me having a metaphorical post-coital cigarette. So welcome to the. Have I been calling it what? The Jizz Factory? Yeah, I think so. Welcome to the windowsill, the open welcome to the post-coital balcony. Let's just have a cigarette and reflect on the nuts that we all just busted together. I'm gonna do that. Vocal training will take over every facet of my life, every exchange, everything I do will have vocal feminization training as a part of it. Every time I bust a nut, every time I'm about to bust a nut, I'm gonna reach for my phone on my dresser. I'm gonna go, I'm coming, and then I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna find my target pitch, which is A3, and I'm gonna bust. So, if this is your first time watching or listening, it gets better. I don't know. I hope. This is madness. I'm coming in hot. I have one thing left to do today. Well, I mean, considering I'm gonna have to post this thing once I'm done, a lot of things. Most of them are PodGis related. I'm gonna have to edit this bullshit and put it up. But besides that, I did a lot today, and the last thing I've been hesitating on pulling the trigger on this, but I think my special might more or less be done on my end. As far as the edits go, as far as the curation of the material and the cuts between the the shots, wide, fucking middle, close, zooms and all that. All of my notes, I think, are as good as they're going to get. We have done as good as we are going to do with the raw materials that we found ourselves with later when we looked at the footage. Everything that was captured by the camera crew, we have it. I'm not hey, what are you talking about? I'm not suggesting anything. We have the materials, and we are doing our best. We're doing our best, and it's going to look great. And don't misinterpret any of this as some kind of, not an as some kind of, I'm not ripping into this thing. Because trust me when I say this shit is going to be explosive. And I'm going to try and clap away from the mic, but also close enough that if you're listening from home, that I mean it. This is going to be explosive for me. And I hope you guys like it. It's going to be fucking awesome. It's my pride and joy. It's the culmination of 17 years of stand-up first debut thing. So naturally, I'm sure you can understand that I am nervous. I am being a perfectionist. I am being very microscopic about my notes. I'm being a lot of things, but no one can accuse me of being uncaring because I care so deeply it hurts. I care so deeply it hurts. Uh, I care so deeply. Um, Show announcement. If you're in Toronto, if you are a fan of mine from Toronto, Ontario, in 3 weeks, 3 Wednesdays from now, the 28th, I will be putting on its feet. Essentially, I will be doing my first hour-long set since hour-long like new material set. I've done time since the special taping, but this is like me embarking on a new journey of material. It's gonna be rough and experimental, and it's gonna be if you've ever seen me live, you know that I am an agent of chaos. I do a lot of things spontaneously. I do a lot of writing on the spot in the moment. I come prepared with a premise or not, and I work it out on stage and to varying degrees of polish, but with consistent degrees of success. So I can guarantee that if you come to the show on the 28th, it's at the Theatre Center in Toronto. I'm working out the time. I think it's either at 8 or 8:30. I don't know yet. I have to wait on their response, but come out to it. It's going to be awesome. I don't know what the ticket prices yet are. All I'm saying is mark the date. Mark the date. Follow me for more details. February 28th. That show is going to rule. And I'm excited and I'm nervous about that too because, it's going to be a whole bunch of new material and who knows? Who knows? It's the thrill of trying something completely brand new and risking failure. But, even when a joke bombs, not that that fucking happens to me anymore. No, I'm kidding. Even if a joke does not, I'll say this. No, I won't be cocky. I still bomb jokes. Fuck yeah, of course I do. It's fun. Even if a joke bombs, um, it's still I'm experienced enough to know how to recover gracefully, how to turn it into a thing. I should post this video. It's a good one, but I followed like a musical comic who had a guitar. And I don't come down on musical comedy. There are some stand-up purists who are like, "Oh, it's a crutch. That's not stand-up." Fuck you, it is. It counts. Are you standing up? Are you doing comedy? Checkmate, bitches. Checkmate, asshole. You purist asshole. That's a little bit Ku Klux Klan-y of you to be so discriminatory. Why don't you think about that, Grand Wizard? Anyways. So I followed a musical comic a couple weeks ago, and when he and I was next, and I tried a new joke, and it like petered out at the end, and so I was like, would that have been funnier if I played a fucking C chord along with it? And the crowd appreciated that. They gave much more than a golf clap. I'll tell you that. But the more I brag about how well I did at a show, the more it gives me the fucking cringes, I'm cringing in my loins. You can't see because the camera's cut off here, but I can't brag. I can't brag. It's a really it's a quality that sets me back. I won't lie. I genuinely think I would be further in my career if I boasted a little bit more. So maybe I should start boasting now. BoastGis. It's the dawn of BoastGis. All right, for the rest of this podcast, we're calling it BoastGis. I'm going to boast. Starting with God damn, my arms are sick. How about there? Let's start there. If you're listening, I'm wearing a cute little belly tank top. I got you can't see naturally, and I'm not going to show you all of it, huh? Because I'm not currently tucked. But I'm wearing like leggings, which is fun. I've discovered leggings. I used to be so self-conscious about wearing leggings around my roommate, cause girl bulge. And my roommate and I go way, way back. We're friends since we were but when I wore a younger man's clothes. In the immortal words of Billy Joel. Little did Billy Joel know that he was talking about a trans woman. Oh, that's funny. I'll write that down. That's good. That's good. But anyways, now I'm wearing leggings I'm in my leggings era. And ain't nothing you could do to stop me. But I was always self-conscious about wearing those around my roommate because like we're besties. And I don't want him, I don't want to make him uncomfortable. But I also want to be comfortable and I like wearing leggings. They're fun. So I'll update you if there's a conflict. But I doubt it. He's chill as shit. He's cool as heck. Me and my friends. Um, and getting hair advice. I posted an Instagram story. Before I started, I posted an Instagram story, and now I'm getting all kinds of hair advices coming in. People are like, you should do something about that. Uh, that wheaty mop. It's made of wheat, my hair. It's made of just a handful of strands of wheat. Not chaff, though. Could be worse. My hair could be made of chaff. I'm gonna boast. My hair is so made of wheat, not chaff. There's no chaff in my hair. Um, I was listening to last week's episode, and um it's an interesting I rarely really do. I'll be honest. Um Ain't nobody got time for that. I wish I did. I could try. I could sleep less. But then everything else suffers if you sleep less. I love my sleep. I get ample sleep. I get enough sleep. Trust me. But that is something that I don't want to sacrifice. So, um I guess I could sacrifice watching TV shows and other stuff. But then I'm just watching my own content 24/7. That's bullshit. That sucks. God, I would hate that. 24 hours of me? What is this, the Truman Show? Fuck that. Mm. I tend more towards the self-loathing side of things, but you couldn't pay me to watch 24 hours of me. I guess, I guess it is me. It might be easier viewing. But it's cringy as shit. I was in a dating reality TV show, and that's the new season is coming out on Valentine's Day. And I think I'm episode 2 or 3. And boy, I cringe at myself. I cringe at the trailer. I'm cringing at every little bit of promo. And I hate to say this, it doesn't reflect on anyone outside of me. It doesn't reflect on the show, on the producers, on the editor. It's just I'm cringing at me. So I'll try to promote it, but you will notice that I won't put a lot of you won't really see much of the promo. Ah, you won't see very much of the promo because I don't want to fucking show you. I don't want to fucking show you. I don't want you to cringe at me. But people who know how cringy they are, it's endearing, isn't it? I'm just going to convince myself of that just to maintain at least a baseline level of self-esteem. But anyways, I was listening to last week's episode because I was like, I'm gonna start. My memory is so bad that I'm gonna start recalling. I'm gonna try and recall things because I know that every once in a while in this jizz factory, I forget that I'm rubbing out multiple ideas, that I'm rubbing out ideas that have future implications. Things that I mention I will come back to at a further episode. Or themes, running jokes that I am very fond of that are lost and completely utterly forgotten from episode to episode and I love. I mean, podcasts need to be discontinuous. They don't need to. But mine is. You could pick up any episode you want. But you know, it if I got themes, if I got running gags, then there's a richness in watching, listening chronologically, and I keep missing out on these opportunities to do callbacks because I'm just not listening to myself. And so I tried, and so I sat. I went on the elliptical, and I didn't sit. I ellipticaled. What is the verb for being on the elliptical? You're not just being on an elliptical, you are not exercising. I'm going to come up with a word. You are churning. That's the right verb because you are kind of churning. If if you're if you were submerged from the knee down on an elliptical, you would be churning. You'd be churning the waters. So let's make that a thing. So I was churning. I was churning on the elliptical, listening, churning, PodGissin, rubbing out an exercise routine until I busted. That's so stupid. And I noticed something that is interesting. If you are like me in this podcast, uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I speaking spontaneously, free word, freely associating. If you are just word associating and just like and talking off the cuff, when you listen back to yourself, you think in exactly the same way that you think that when I was listening to PodGis when I was churning, my brain was also churning, and I realized that it's almost like identical twins finishing each other's sentences. As soon as I heard past Avagis talking about something, future Avagis would finish the thought. I'd be like right ahead of the thought and using like all of the same words. Not like identically, but even if it was like an especially if it was a punchline or if it was an especially specific word in my vocabulary, if you appreciate Alval's vocabulary, then what's cool is I'll listen back to an episode and I'll be just ahead of the thought and I will use the exact nifty little word that I used, and I think that is so cool. It's like a twin. It's like a twin. I'm like listening to my twin talk and I'm finishing her sentences. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Trying to get comfortable. My poor hips. Oh, my poor goddamn hips. Anyways, that was an interesting thought. I thought that was clever and interesting. And future Val, if you're listening to this, good work. You keep it up. I appreciate you. Oh, boastgis. I'm so smart that if I were to do this again, I would do it so the same. I don't know about that sentence. Uh, future Val would listen to that and be like, "Oh, you really laid an egg at the end of that one." I bet she would think you laid an egg, though. Me and you, baby. I'm speaking directly to future Gis right now. Anyways, let's talk about this. let's talk about this. Super Canadian girl. Um, Taylor Swift. Uh-oh. Strap in. Taylor Swift. Here we go. We're gonna talk about her. Um, God, she is so divisive. She is on everyone's mind. And, like, everyone's got an opinion about her. And, I mean, everyone's got a visceral opinion about her. Either you love her or you hate her. Either you support her or you wish she would die. And it seems there's nothing in between. And everything that she does is so hyper scrutinized and, vilified. She won't look long enough at someone at an awards show and people will just extrapolate and fucking vilify her for that. How could she be so rude? Why didn't she think to do the very specific thing that me, Chuck Bellinger from Arkansas, thought of? You know what I mean? Everyone is just imposing their expectations on this poor woman. And the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, huh, sounds familiar. And if you're not catching on yet, I'm talking about the trans experience. Taylor Swift is an honorary trans woman for the fact that the entire fucking globe has they're fucking churning. They're churning in their brain. They're churning in their brains. They're up on that anger elliptical and they're churning thoughts. Everyone's got a big old thought churn going on for Taylor Swift. And that is very much the trans experience. Everybody has a visceral fucking attitude towards us. Either you are so gung-ho pro, or you are like, Jesus Christ, these people need to die. And nothing short of that. So Taylor Swift is an honorary trans woman. And God, I just fucking feel for her. It's nothing is enough for so many of you people. And listen, this is the way I listen to music. I don't listen to full albums. I don't listen to full anthologies. If I hear a song of yours that I like at random, I'm not a very good explorer of new music. I like what I like and I stick to my playlists. Every once in a while, a new song that I catch onto, it just like it has to penetrate my defenses, my like status quo defenses, you know? And so all that to say, I don't listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. Every once in a while a song will come on that I'll be like, I like that. Yoink. I'm putting that in my liked Spotify playlist. There it is. So I don't know a lot of her songs. I know a whole bunch. I know the hits that play on the radio. I know the songs that I like. Like, I'll Be the Man. That song about the man. It hits different as a trans woman, let me tell you that. That's another connection to Taylor Swift. When she talks about if she were a man, what that life would be like. And I would be like, girl, I was there. I was there. um, I was there and boy, oh boy, was I churning. I was churning hot butter. It was a jizz factory, baby. So Taylor Swift, this is the thing that is bothering me lately. Is that so I'm by no means a self-identified Swiftie, but the more people fucking hate on her for dumb shit, for over scrutinized, just hate to hate, you know? For etiquette faux pas that these people just conjured up in their heads. And then you see like tens of thousands of people liked it on Twitter and are vilifying her in the comments. It's just at this point, I'm doing it to be a contrarian. I am so pro Taylor Swift because the things that I hear people come after her for, that's how I'm choosing my side. You guys are hating on this woman for dumb shit. I'm sorry. You're hating on her for dumb shit. What, she appeared for 25 seconds in your fucking football game? Why don't you get mad at every commercial? Why don't you get mad at fucking Duolingo and Cottonelle then? If that is so intrusive to your football viewing experience, why don't you get mad at fucking Bet MGMT or whatever the sports betting ads are? Why don't you get mad at KFC and McDonald's? And you know what I mean. So they showed Taylor Swift for 25 seconds. Boo fucking poo. But that's the easy one. That's the easy. That like most people can agree. But there's this current thing with the private jets. She she is either the first or the second highest. She over the past year, I'm losing it. Over the past year, Taylor Swift has is either the first or the second um highest mileage in her private jet. She like racked up the most, competing with Drake, somewhere up there. And so people are angry at her and accusing her of being uncaring to the environment, this huge CO2 emitter, just responsible for climate change. It's all Taylor Swift's fault. And there is a guy who everyone seems to keep specifically mentioning this detail, but he is a college student who is publicly tracking her private jet um routes live, mind you, as she's doing them, as she's flying. And so, everyone's jumping on this bandwagon to be like, and so she's suing, by the way, or she's threatening to sue this guy. She's like, you'd better stop because this is like stalking behavior, or I will take legal action. And now, number one, not to discredit this guy entirely, but he's not just a college student. Apparently, according to Twitter, he owns a private jet of his own. So, is this really the team you want to fucking hitch your wagon to, right? So there's that. Number one. And if that's not enough to discredit him entirely, listen, why do you have to do it live? People are like, okay, why don't you post this shit maybe 48 hours or whatever? If you want to prove the point that you want to prove, if you are really seriously trying to prove the point that you are, post it 48 hours after. Not live. She is. It's abundantly clear. It's self-evident in the very discussion we're having about these private jets, just how viscerally everyone's responding and just how massive this anger towards her is. Like, to the point of hostility. That this fucking woman deserves to have a little privacy, at the very least, in where she is traveling. So that, people don't fucking show up on location to, God forbid, fucking threaten her life. You know what I mean? She has reached what's her name? Selena? That like Latina singer from the 90s who wasn't it her like cleaning lady who shot her and killed her? Whatever. I think somebody's going to try and murder her. You know what I mean? So like you people need to fucking relax. And okay, and lastly, this is the point that I need to make. What do you propose as an alternative? What do you propose she do instead? Because she takes a private jet because what is she supposed to fly fucking economy class on Delta? What you really think that Taylor Swift is going to sit in the middle seat in an aisle seat beside you in row 4F? You really think that's going to fucking happen? And everyone on the plane is going to be cool about it? Get a life. Fucking screw your head on straight. Start churning a little bit of brain power. Maybe rub those folds. Maybe start jorking them folds into your cerebral cortex. Because like she has to get around. She is like this economic solo powerhouse. She's doing concerts all over the place. Her tour is like from city to city, night by night. And you expect excellence from her? What, she's gonna take a fucking 8-hour bus just so you can feel better about yourself? No, she has to take a plane to go from this city to the next one and not be harassed at the fucking bag roulette at the carousel, at the luggage carousel. Can you imagine? Just picture fucking Taylor Swift hanging out, waiting for her luggage at the carousel. And now imagine everyone being cool around that, right? How difficult a time are you having right now imagining everyone at baggage claim just minding their own beeswax while Taylor Swift stands casually observing the baggage roulette? You can't. So what do you propose? Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Somebody call me out. What is she supposed to do? Because you fuckers won't leave her alone. She is the most divisive person in fucking entertainment right now. And so that woman she's like the biggest fucking superstar in the world. Pretty indisputably, after the tour that she just had, and after the PR bullshit that she has to fucking suffer day by day, angering an entire demographic of NFL watching men just by showing up for 25 seconds, fucking clapping, cheering on her goddamn boyfriend, not doing anything on her own volition or willpower to impose upon you, by the way. She's not asking the cameras to fucking all turn around and look at her instead of at the field. Get a fucking life. Find something worth getting angry about. And look, I am an environmentalist as well, at heart. I maybe screw up a couple times. I maybe do recycling wrong. Somebody told me that recycling is all bullshit. I like to believe that it is not. I like to believe that recycling is a real thing. I need it to be, so I can feel like I am making a difference. And you know what? Maybe I'm not. Maybe my carbon footprint fucking sucks, and I need to be confronted about that. Yes, I'm all for it. But I'm just saying, I don't have the gross GDP of fucking Morocco on my own independent shoulders. You know, I am not the economic equivalent of Croatia. I feel like she's probably even bigger. I feel like she's bigger than Croatia. Let's put that on the next tour. Taylor Swift, bigger than Croatia, and then she tours everywhere except Croatia. Every country around the outside of Croatia. So all I'm saying is, what do you propose? What's the alternative? Because she's going to get fucking harassed and stalked and hounded and threatened no matter what the fuck she does. You know? Hey, look, fucking the CEO of Loblaws, this CEO of what's his name? He's got a shit name. He's got a fucking shit name for a shit person. Who's the owner of Loblaws? Galen Weston, right? Of Loblaws. By the way, if you're an American, yeah, Galen Weston. If you're an American, Loblaws is like, what do I call it? The premier grocery chain in Canada. I don't know where they rank, but it's got to be up there. It's one of the biggest. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. Sorry, but it's one of the biggest in Ontario. That I can confidently say. But fucking, all right. Does Galen Weston need a private jet? I don't think most people would recognize his face. So maybe not. If more people recognize his face, maybe he would need it for his own goddamn safety. Because globally, I say we sick the killer whales on that motherfucker. You know? I don't care if he dies. I care more if Taylor Swift dies than Galen Weston. I'm not gonna lie. I am who I am. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. I am who I am. I prefer. Look, if I were Pontius Pilate, oh boy, if I were Pontius Pilate, on on Jesus Day, or whatever that day of the biblical year back then was, where they would do. By the way, how fucked is this? That on, I guess it was Easter weekend. Was it Easter weekend before Jesus died, or did he go and breathe his last breath, and someone was like, "I guess this is Easter weekend now." Let's call this Easter weekend. And everyone went, yeah, okay. See you in 3 days. What? Nothing. But how fucked is it that this was a thing in biblical times, that they would bring out 2 fucking criminals and they would be like, we're gonna free one of them. You guys vote. What this that was the dawn of reality TV. I think that was the first ever reality TV show. Was every year people would go and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't wait for prisoner freeing, uh, for prisoner liberation, season 18." Do you guys remember season 5 when they let go of that serial killer? Yeah, that was sick. We still haven't found him. He's still at large. He's racking up fucking numbers, baby. He's back. Season 5 was nuts. It was 2 serial killers. We were like, whoa, holy shit. This is really gonna have consequences. But I'm so in right now. Okay, this is a bit. I'm gonna fucking. This is a thing. I'm churning more ideas like this. On February 28th. Anyways, I gotta chill and breathe. Apparently, it's a breathing issue. Apparently, it's a breathing issue. The buzziness. Okay, I'm getting distracted. So I would be the Pontius Pilate on Jesus Day, and I would be in front of the crowd, and I would be like, "Who do we kill? Galen Weston or Taylor Swift?" And regardless what the crowd yells, because I'm sure Taylor Swift would get. This is how sad it is. I feel like Taylor Swift would get more of a reaction than Galen Weston, because everybody's just so fucking immersed in their hatred for a pop star. It's fucking silly. So I would ignore the crowd and I would be like, "What? Galen Weston? You got it." And then no, wait, we're talking about free. I would say, "Free Taylor Swift? You got it." And then I would take Galen Weston and shove him into the human-sized catapult that would inevitably launch him into the Rocky Mountains. Um that's how he would die. Or I would just, I would give everyone like balls, tennis balls or whatever, baseballs, and it would be like a dunk tank with orcas in there. A dunk tank with orcas. That's how we killed Galen Weston. Anyways, if this video is still up, thank God. If you're not seeing this video right now, just know what happened to me. Galen Weston fucking happened to me. That's who. Okay. Did I finish that thought? I hope I did. Anyways, the fact that people are coming after Taylor more than Galen Weston. Listen, Galen Weston, what the fuck does he need to be? Go from Cincinnati to fucking. What the fuck does he need to be? Go to Edmonton from fucking Brampton? What does he need to do that for? That he can't accomplish in a Zoom call. You know what I mean? The CEO of Canada's leading grocery chain. What do you need a private jet for? You could ride a moose. Most of our major cities, Vancouver, fucking, the 3 biggest ones, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. You could take a commercial flight. That's fine. Come on, Galen. It would be great if his private jet flew from Toronto to Vancouver and then overshot and landed into the Pacific Ocean, especially where the orca mating season. That would be great. Orca nesting, mating, weight gaining season. You know, the season where they eat the most. Ding. Um, I feel on a roll today. I feel happy of myself. Love that video. Love that video. Love that video. Love. Can you hear the buzziness? Can you hear the strain? Can you hear it fall apart at the end? Well, she's trying. She's trying and she's breathing and she's doing her best. And when she tries to breathe, it feels like she's straining. And then when she stops straining, it feels like she's buzzing. So fucking someone help me. When I relax, when I relax, it takes a lot. Fucking see, now I'm trying too hard. Now I'm trying too hard. And I'm straining and it hurts. And my eyebrows go, I don't know if you can notice, but when I try to talk like a girl, especially when I really try and talk in a feminine voice, I can feel my skin peeling back away from my face. I'm trying to be so bright that the skin is fucking peeling back and my eyebrows are going back to the crown of my head. I'm just trying so hard. Oh. I don't know if I ever, oh God, I wrote Florida license thing trans. God, fuck Florida. Can we just get a fuck Florida in the chat? Hey chat, let's get a fuck Florida. What was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Whether you can or not. But Florida passed a law about if you're basically outlawing fucking trans people. It was just like, if you ever had a gender marker changed on your license, that license is now void. Like, Florida, get a fucking grip, man. We are not your enemy. Jesus fucking Christ. You have a million you're Florida. Let's work on the education system. You have a million more important things to worry about right now than the letter on someone's fucking driver's license. They are out there driving around, minding their own fucking business. What does that have to do with you? What does somebody's driver's license have to do with you? What threat are they fucking posing by changing the letter on their driver's license? It's not identity fraud because they're still IDing as themselves fucking everywhere. It's not like they're going anywhere else. It's not like they're stealing an identity from someone else already in fucking existence. So what are you going after them for? What is the fucking problem? Don't you have more important things to do? Don't you have more important things to worry about? Like your fucking oh god damn it. Don't you have more important things to worry about? Like, I don't know, your literacy issues? Your education issues? I don't know. Maybe the poverty gap. No, it's fine. You fucking come after trans people for the letter on their goddamn license. It makes no fucking sense. We are not your fucking enemy. Driving around minding our own fucking business. Ridiculous. Anyways, I won't waste another breath on that. We'll take some water though. All right, welcome back to the Jizz Factory. I can't title this episode that. I was thinking I might when I brought it up, I thought about calling it the Jizz Factory, but now I can't. It's going to get taken down. So what the fuck do I call this? PodGis. I'll just spell PodGis with a Z. A Z. Do my American listeners like that? You like how I say Z? Get her, she's Canadian. Oh God, I'm trans and Canadian. How long would I survive in Florida? You know? Whip out my Ontario driver's license. Their heads are gonna fucking explode. They're gonna have a full mental malfunction holding my ID. What the fuck do I do with this? You're trans and Canadian? They just have a fucking heart attack, a stroke right there. You know what? Maybe that's the best way I can fight bigotry, is by driving around Florida until I get pulled over and then showing my Ontario, Canada driver's license. Giving fucking police officers heart attacks in Fort Lauderdale. In fucking Daytona. Anyways, I'm gonna tell this story and then I'm gonna eat. My roommate and friend, one person, not two. It's 2024. It's 2024. You can be friends with your roommate. I'm gonna tell this story real quick. I used to work for a year or two. God, these were the worst years of my life, maybe. Oh, I don't know. I have some other years that right before I came out, that was a tough year. Some tough years I've had. But among the worst, among the worst years I've had, I used to work for a catering company at the Toronto Board of Trade, and Malaparte as well was another one of their locations. And essentially, it was corporate catering by Oliver and Bonaccini was the head, the main. It was the owners. Oliver and Bonaccini own like it's like high end food. They have high end restaurants, fine dining, and so I worked for their catering at Toronto Board of Trade, which meant like um catering the buffets and shit for like weddings and corporate meetings. And Malaparte was like their like nightclub place. So like celebrities I never got to see. I got to meet Terry Bradshaw. I just remembered. I got to meet Terry Bradshaw. I served Terry Bradshaw a drink. This was before I transitioned, so we really broed out. It was great. But you know, and if you're wondering what he's like, I don't know. He's like he is on TV. I was a bartender. He didn't everybody wanted a piece of him. He wasn't going to fucking talk to me. Anyways, but he wasn't rude or whatever. It was, it was an exchange of fuck it, who cares? You know what I mean. Nothing happened. I have nothing to report for you. He was Terry Bradshaw. Anyways, if you don't know who Terry Bradshaw is, I don't know if he still does it. I think he's a former NFL Hall of Famer, I believe. Legend. And so naturally he also does broadcasting for the NFL. But anyways, where was I? Yeah, Malaparte, Toronto Board of Trade. I heard Snoop Dogg. There was my coworkers did a thing for Snoop Dogg. I was doing so many shows. I was like, I'm always grinding up stand up. So it wasn't often that I got to do the night shift. I was always on the fucking grueling early morning shift where we would have to show up at like 5 a.m. Oh, worst job. One of the worst jobs of my life. And what made it worse was I had dreadlocks at the time. This was my first job out of university when I moved from London, Ontario, Canada to Toronto. I was getting on my feet. I was working this as a day job, and like the uniforms, we were dressed, and forgive me, LGBT community, for this sin, but we were dressed like gay clowns, and everybody I worked with drank the fucking Kool-Aid, and this was the worst part. I had dreads. My sister got me the job, even though I was scorned so hard from the moment I applied. My sister got me the job, even though the manager fucking hated me. From the moment I sat across from him, he was this gay guy named Luis, Portuguese man who, he was a Portuguese Mr. Bean. Take Mr. Bean, color him tanned, a nice tan brown, a nice olive, and there you have Luis. And so, yeah, he was a Portuguese Mr. Bean, and not nearly as funny. I mean, funny to laugh at now in retrospect, but from the moment I sat across, it was the dreads. He hated the dreads, and they subtracted a touch of class from the entire experience. And I tied them in a bun, and I would keep them out of my face, and I would do my best to just like, you know, keep them out of the way. But the rest of the uniform, it was like these pink and off pink white stripes, and then a dark gray tie with pink and purple polka dots on it. Stripes and polka dots, people. Stripes and polka dots. Listen, I don't consider myself a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination. I wear what I likes, and what I likes are simple colors, solid colors. I'm not out there setting any trends. Let's just say that. But fucking pink on pink stripes with pink on purple polka dots is a crime. It's a fucking crime. It is. Tell me I'm wrong. Taylor Swift wouldn't be caught dead in that. Galen Weston, I believe, would never get caught dead in pink stripes and purple polka dots. No chance. So anyways, I hated the uniform. And you had to wear like a gray apron. It was pretty gay. It was all super gay. And everybody who worked there was gay, including Lewis. And so, and me, of course, but nobody knew at the time. Ha 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 ha. So Lewis fucking hated me. He would take out all his anger on me. He would yell at me all the time. He would say the cattiest fucking passive aggressivo shit to me. He was so passive aggressive to me all the goddamn time. He would imply that I was an idiot and that I didn't know what I was doing. And to be fair, I was the slowest of the entire staff, and I screwed up a lot. But it was partially out of spite, because his managerial style never once made me feel like the work was worth it. Number two, I hated the people that we were serving. They were all stuck up corporate fucking corpo assholes. And number three, this wasn't my dream. I didn't want to fucking be there. I was doing it for the money. And it was decent money. It was pretty good money, not gonna lie. But it came at a great personal cost because, I would be exhausted because I'd be gigging the night before. And it was just a torturous scene. It sucked. And, but I will never forget this. I think about this. I think about Lewis every once in a while for this one particular exchange. I also think about the time he straight up called me stupid. But I wasn't being stupid. I was just lagging. I was walking a little bit behind everybody. And I think he was already so mad that day and so stressed. And I was his favorite target. He fucking hated me. So he called me stupid or something. He was just like, "Why are you so stupid?" And I was like, my gait as I walk has nothing to do with my intellectual capacity, sir. Anyways, I will never forget this. There was a day he would do these like he would do Gail or fucking Lewis would do these daily we would do like a group thing. Everybody would get together at the beginning of the shift. We'd have sometimes we'd have staff meal before. Most of the time we'd have it after. I mean, the food was the best part of that job. Easily. The food was fucking phenomenal. But you never got to take any home, which was bullshit. but the food was, the best. Anyways, we would he would have a theme, and he would do like this, group psych up thing, and like, you know, you know what it is, just a team meeting before everything. And there was one day that he brought everyone around, and listen, this guy was so up his own ass, and all the workers adored him. That's part of the reason why I fucking hated him. We had a real hate relationship, but part of why I hated him was because everyone fucking loved him so goddamn much, and no one saw just what a fucking pompous, self-absorbed, narcissistic asshole this guy was. And this is the part that I remember the most, because I wish, knowing I am where I am now, I wish I could go back in time and just start fucking tearing into this guy for this. But we had a staff meeting, and he collects everybody, and he goes, like, we're going to go around the circle. Hello, everyone. We are going to go around the circle. And I won't do an impression. That's a little bit racist. I don't know. Is it? It's a specific character impersonation. Fucking, I don't know. I don't care. He gathered everybody around. At this point, it's taken away from the story. He gathered everybody around, and he said, let's go one by one, and all of you tell me who your role models are. Who do you look up to the most? And, everybody one by one went around, and I, of course, talked about my dad, because my dad is my hero, and he's this surgeon who has saved thousands upon thousands of lives, and he's this renowned doctor, and like, he's just so accomplished, and he's also raised our family, and he was just always a good dad to me, and compassionate and awesome, and I gush about my dad. And then finally it comes around to him. He's the last one, and he takes his moment. He takes his fucking spotlight, composes himself, and he goes, "You know who my role model is? Me." And fuck, I hated this, that everyone else was like, "Oh, wow." Everybody was so moved. He was like, "You know why? Because I believe that I'm the best that I will ever be. And that I think it's pathetic to like have a role model, to look up to someone. Why are you looking up to someone? It's so disempowering. I am so capable." And so, like, okay, the messaging does not at all fit. It's fucking narcissistic. It was so filtered through his narcissism. Like, there is nothing inherently wrong with having a role model. A role fucking model. Somebody that you model your behavior after because you admire them for their virtues. And this guy was like, "No, I'm all good, thanks. I don't need role models. I'm already fucking perfect." Go fuck yourself. And to set us all up like that, the entire staff, to go around and listen to everyone gush and like and pour their hearts out about like someone that they appreciate, to share something that really truly is an intimate part of everyone. You heard all kinds of stories. And just knowing that from the beginning to the end, every single person, him in his head, he was like, "Oh, wait till I fucking blow their minds." Lewis's brain, Lewis was rubbing them cerebral folds until he busted. And he busted all over our fucking faces. And I was the only one who didn't consent. Everyone else was like, "Yes, oh my God, so smart. Oh, so wise. Wow." I fucking hated working there. For that reason, everybody ate it up. Oh, I don't need a role model because I'm all the role model that I need, and I am so empowered and capable, and I forget, he just fucking went off on himself. It was just a bust a nut fest. He was churning, and everyone was just guzzling his jism. It was a fucking jizz factory. Toronto Board of Trade. Anyways, I heard that he got fired several years later for stealing from the company. So I win. I feel like I win. Because now I'm my favorite role model, and now I don't need anyone to look up to, and I'm so empowered, and I don't need any. Fucking get over yourself. My God. Anyways, I think about, see, that guy crosses my mind every once in a while. I would love to like tell him off, or at least acknowledge. I would love to sit across from him and be like, you fucking hated me. And guess what? I hated you too. And I felt, and you know what? I don't even give a fuck. You can look down your fucking nose at this, but I knew what a big thorn in your goddamn side I was. I knew how much you hated that I was on payroll and you couldn't do anything about it. And that's why I stuck around. And sometimes I would underperform on fucking purpose because I knew how mad it made you. How mad did that make you? Yeah. So, you know, I was my own role model in those points because I didn't have anyone to model sabotage for me. I'd never witnessed somebody sabotage. I didn't have a model for that. Anyways, he got fired. Lewis got fired for stealing from the company. Apparently, he was stealing. He like he bought his boyfriend a car or something, and everyone was like, "Where did that come from?" I don't know. He bought like his lover a car. I don't know. Now, at this point, I'm making it up. I'm making the rest up, but it's true. My sister got me that job, and she was the one who told me, and she was one of the ones who drank the Kool-Aid. I'm gonna be honest. She loved that guy too. And so it was kind of, I felt embarrassed going in every day and being the pariah of the entire staff, essentially just being the outcast and knowing that she was like one of the stars of the staff. And I was in last place. Nobody really appreciated anything I did, but I was a good bartender. When they put me in that role, God, I was the best. Especially because catering, we wouldn't make cocktails. It was just like easy mixed drinks, rum and coke, vodka cran, vodka OJ, just bing, 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 wine, just pour wine. That's all you had to do. Some parts of it were an easy job. The Toronto Board of Trade, setting up a morning of corporate meetings and everything has to be arranged just so. And if a water jug is pointed in the wrong direction when he comes in to inspect, God forbid, the house of cards will collapse and Galen Weston will fire 10,000 employees. So, like, I guess the stakes were high and I maybe should have tried a little bit harder, but I pulled it back a little bit out of spite because you can't stand in front of a group of 20 people and brag about how you don't need a role model because you are already amazing and outstanding and exceptional as you are after making us do the exercise. You know what I mean? You set us up, you narcissistic piece of shit, knowing that you were going to do like a whole bait and switch at the end that ended with you just absorbing all of this, just nutting, just busting your fat nut on everybody's face. Get out of here, Lewis. I don't give a fuck. I'm doing great. The best revenge, truly, say it with me, the best revenge is living well, and I am living a pretty well life. I feel well. Despite my ramblings, I know you could hear me rambling and be like, she is unwell. There is something severely wrong with that woman. And you know what? Maybe on some level, you could be right. Maybe there is something wrong with me. But I seem to be coping in a very entertaining way. So I'm cool with it. Anyways, that was today's episode of PodGis. Thank you very much for listening. I am going to keep trying and training and oh boy, we are going to see improvements. I feel like I am improving every single fucking day, and if I commit and if I believe that I can do it, as I've seen so many trans women before me, then I can do it. I can do this. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. February 28th, that show is coming out. My special So Brave is coming out as well. If you're in Toronto and you can't make the 28th, come to Bloomin' Funyuns. It's a fun show that I run with Dan Gallia, a friend of mine. And it's good and it's fun. And that's at the Burdock. You can go to the Burdock website for tickets. Thank you guys very much. We will see you in a week or two. I don't know. I don't know. This is the most inconsistent podcast of all time. I'll see you when I see ya, but probably on a Wednesday. Whether this one or the next. Shut the fuck up, Alval, and close it out. All right, Lewis, if you're watching, you're a big piece of shit. You shouldn't steal from the company. Bye.